In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your base for your coil pot, how to roll out a coil, and how to start building with your coils along with your template. Okay, so to start out, you need to roll out a slab, and then based on however big you made your base, you're gonna cut out a circle according to the size that you made it. So generally, most people's are 3 or 4 inches. So I have these blue templates that are 3 and 4 inches, so you can take one of these to use for your cutouts. If you have a different size or a more specific size for your coil pot, just let me know and I'll cut you out a specific circle for you. So my coil pot's 3-inch base, so I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna take a needle tool and I'm gonna run it along the edge of that template. And now I have my base for my coil pot. To make a coil, you're gonna take clay and you're gonna bunch it up into a shape like this. And you are going to roll it on the table from your fingertips to your palm and back to your fingertips, going back and forth. Now, once it starts getting longer, you're gonna start to spread your fingertips. So I'm gonna spread my fingertips as I'm going back and forth. The reason that we spread our fingertips is because if I were only to stay in this area and I just rolled it here and I didn't spread it out, this area is gonna get much thinner than these areas out here, and we want it to be nice and consistent and uniform. We don't want one part to be super small and one part to be super big. So we spread out our fingertips to increase our surface area so we're touching more of the coil to make it nice and even. So you want your coil to be about this thick. We don't want them any thinner than this because structurally we need a good bit of clay, especially at the bottom of our coil pot, to support the rest of our coil pot as we build. So we don't want our coils to be any smaller than this. I am going to grab my base and I'm gonna grab my slip. Grab something to scratch your clay with. We'll have to scratch our base. We're gonna add some slip. And then we're gonna stack our coil right on top. Now we made a super long coil, so we're gonna stack it on top of each other like that. And we're gonna cut straight through both of those sections, take off our extra pieces, and now we have a coil that fits perfectly together. Now you wanna scratch and slip that together, that connection. Push them together, wiggle them together a little bit, and then blend them into each other. Once we have our seam blended, we're gonna blend in the inside seam. Now this doesn't look super pretty right now, and that's okay. We're gonna blend that inside seam, and we wanna blend our outside seam together as well. Okay, now that that's blended, we're ready to start adding our next coil. So I'm gonna roll out another coil. I'm gonna scratch and slip. And I'm gonna stack it right on top. Make sure to cut off your extra, cut straight through both, take away your extra pieces, scratch and slip that seam together, wiggle them together, and then blend it together. Now, before you blend this coil into your next coil, we want to be checking our shape with our template. So to do that, I'm gonna hold this sideways so you can see it. You're gonna lay this right up against the side. Now you can see that mine does not match up. I have this gap here. So to fill that gap, I'm going to pull my edges out all around. Don't do it in just one area. Make sure you do it the whole way around. And then I'm gonna check it again. See, it's a little bit closer, but I still need to come out a little bit. So I'm gonna keep pressing it out. We wanna be careful while we're building, because this has such a sharp angle coming out, that this doesn't start to collapse and fall outwards and then slump, because there is no clay to support it. So we wanna make sure that we're letting each layer dry. Now you can add probably 2 or 3 coils on this before you let it harden up a little bit. We want to let these harden to about leather hard before we start adding more, so that it doesn't slump and fall on us and then break and possibly crack or collapse on itself. So I want to press this out until it matches up with my shape, and that is pretty close, so I'm going to roll with that. So now I can blend my inside. I want to support the outside with my hand as I'm blending. Wherever I'm blending, I'm supporting it with my outside hand so I'm not pushing it so it doesn't slump. If for some reason, like I have some students who have really long nails and using their hands doesn't work, you can use a wooden modeling tool, preferably one that has a rounded edge on it like this, and you can use that in place of your fingers. If you can't, or if you just feel like it works better than your fingers, you're more than welcome to use that to blend it all together. You're gonna do that on the outside as well. Once it is blended, we want to smooth it out. So you're gonna take your serrated rib, the one with teeth on it, and you're gonna run that along the surface, the inside surface and the outside surface. And I'm still supporting my clay from the outside. The clay is really wet, so I want to make sure that I'm supporting it so that it doesn't flop out. Then I'm going to take my smooth rib, the one with no teeth on it, and I'm going to smooth out the clay. Now you're still left with some of these marks in here because of the edge of the rib. That's okay. We're going to use our finger to smooth those out. And I'm going to take my finger to smooth the rest of it out. And now I have a nice smooth surface that you can't see where one coil starts and where the other ends. You want to make sure that you can't see your individual coils. You want to make sure that they're nice and blended together. If you can't use your fingers to blend out those metal marks, you can use this tool as well. There's flattened edge ones too. See what works best for you. You can also use your knuckle if that works, so kind of play around to see what works best. You're gonna do the same thing to the outside. Now when you do the outside to blend it, you're gonna support it from the inside. So when I'm blending, my inside hand is in there to help support it, so I'm not pushing it either way. You always wanna be supporting it from the inside if you're pressing from the outside, supporting from the outside if you're pressing from the inside. And you're gonna keep doing those steps, following the whole way up. Make sure that you're constantly checking with your template. You don't want to get to a point where you're 3 or 4 coils high and then you remember, oh, I got to check it with my template. You check it, it's nowhere near the shape that you need it to be, and then you have to tear all 3 or 4 of those coils off and you have to start again. So make sure that whenever you add a coil, you're checking with your template, making sure it matches up, blending, smoothing, add a coil, check with your template, so rinse and repeat, do the process over again.